let's go once more from the top. I don't think we'll get very deep into it, but at least through the starting of the run, I think might be worth it. And maybe we do just try the deep elf here. Again, it'll likely be a deep elf of Sif Muna just to take advantage of the fact that we still have one of the kind of tried and true magic gods left on our list here. But again, now is not the time for me to be asking my brain to make decisions, because it is having a hard time. But let's go with the Deep Elf Conjurer. I think that'll be a decent start for us to at least see how it goes, test out the waters. And because I'm no more creative now than I was at the start of this stream, let's just go with Elf, shall we? Oh me oh my. But okie dokie, let's just dive into this. I guess probably should do all of our usual starting routine as well. Silly old me. So let's train conjurations to something like 12, spellcasting to 9. I generally like to stick somewhere in that range. And we'll finish it off by grabbing the seed here as well as usual. Good old elf. And fantastic. And let's see how she goes, shall we? Maybe this will be another situation like our 15 rune Felid run, where I go into it absolutely convinced that there's no way, no possibility that we make it successful on the first try, and somehow everything just falls into place. Would be nice after the embarrassing defeat of our ant buddy here moments ago. So it could be nice. But we shall see. An early knoll. I mean, that is a surefire way into an early grave, but unfortunately, it's not like we can really run up a stairwell. We could run down a stairs, I guess, and hope that it's somehow a better situation down that way. Because with your 12 damage, I mean, you're not going to kill me in one hit, but it's pretty dang close. You know what? Maybe I will just run from you. At the very least, I should learn Searing Ray. That was something that immediately upon running into that son of a gun, I was regretting that we didn't already learn it kind of as soon as we hit level 2, because that is much more likely to be able to burn through our Knoll friend before they have too much of an opportunity to ruin our entire career. And let's see, Gozag, Luganu, and Nemlex. Hey, oof, unfortunately, a couple too many wins in those options, so we'll have to say nay for now. Though getting Luganu this early on without needing to take a detour into the abyss to do so sounds nice, for sure, but nothing to really worry about for now, and we can actually leave our Knoll friend sitting on D1. That can be a fun surprise for when we inevitably end up on an orb run with this character who, again, yes, just guaranteed to succeed, which is a rare for us. It's nice to have a guarantee here for once. Can't wait. Atropa tip darts, not going to be too much of an issue despite the highlighting suggesting otherwise. And we're slowly but surely getting there. Once we hit level 4 and have those two spells castable, that's when I can start to feel pretty comfortable with the start of the run here. Terrans, you deal 12 damage. I mean, I can probably melt you with Searing Ray. I was worried that we'd be immediately made to regret our confidence in the matter, but that was perfect, fantastic. And hopefully that is just about the worst scenario we'll have to deal with in our journey through D3 here. Sir, if you could walk one more step closer, thank you, I appreciate it. And now we can continually check in. I guess actually probably is the time that we just learn these. And then as soon as they are fully castable, we can kind of switch gears. Could even train just a little bit of translocations so that IMB comes online slightly sooner than Prism. Prism, of course, is lovely, and we need the damage output rather. But having the utility and the safety of Mystic Blast is essentially a necessity on a deep elf. So let's see how that treats us, shall we? Fantastic. A 22% failure. It's not too bad. And actually get a timed portal. Kind of forgot that those existed after how our previous run went. Very nearby. Oh, and in fact, this is probably it right here if I had to guess. Oh, never mind. Wazlal. Making me appear the fool. But better to appear a fool than play DCSS on camera and remove all doubt. And there we go. This has got to be the sewer entrance. Fantastic. And just burn through these sons of guns. Excuse me. Let's head backwards. Perfect. And onwards and upwards. Yikes. Oh, attraction is not what I was hoping for from that big stack of potions. There we go. I think that second one actually was carrying, but we are in slight amount of trouble here. Let's see. I mean, it's the slowness from the Curar that's the big problem. I'd probably just leave, right? As much as I want to try to push through, these buddies at least have a decent chance of not dealing too much damage. As soon as the brigand comes up to us, we're just gonna be dead. Unless we can Mystic Blast. Mystic Blast, and they decide not to throw more Curari darts, of course. As soon as we fail one of these, we'll be in trouble, but so far not yet. I am out of magic, though. I probably should just drink some magic. Okay. Burn you. Okay, that was not the intelligent move by any stretch of the imagination, but as we are so fond of saying, it is better to be lucky than good, and so we will gladly just continue forward as if this was the plan the entire time. And hopefully the sewer has something game-changing in it to make it appear as if that was indeed the correct decision, instead of me just doing my usual routine of, let's just see what happens. Burn through this fight and hope it all works out. How could it possibly go any other way? Go Brainworm. Definitely could be a bit more of a problem. Fortunately, we go down without too much of a fight here. And holy moly, that should be most of the sewer here if I had to guess. Got a couple scrolls out of the mix. I mean, can't complain too much there. Plus, of course, just getting the experience. Yeah, again, IMB down to 9% failure rate is also huge in its own right. And not too shabby. Okay, no more Curari on the rest of you brigands at least, so that is lovely to see. Always happy with that. Okie dokie. Well, after a foolish situation in the depths of the sewer there, we do manage to make it out just barely, so we'll have to see it. Is it time that we start taking a peek through some of our scrolls here, potentially? Specifically, I'm looking at this big stack, which does end up being Identify. So let's just go through all those, get some of our additional tools set to use in the future going forward, especially like that teleport scroll. Could be a huge lifesaver as we continue onwards, so that is fantastic. And a strange amount of zombies for sure. I'd be expecting to see like some kind of undead situation. In fact, yeah, mummies as well. What is going on here, folks? You're all just hanging out in that little blockade of metal walls there. This isn't a mine, it's a tomb. Well, at the very least, able to continue forward, and now IMB is at a very much castable setup. Centaur, if you could step right up. Thank you. Still had some chance of murdering us in cold blood, but fortunately, we're able to push through. And here's where IMB starts to save the day, doing some nice unavoidable damage, as well as just getting the scorpion off of our backs. Grinder on the other end, or on the other end of things, I do not wish to fight right now, so we will just say goodbye to you, my pesky paralyzing pal, and hopefully by the time we face you next, we have like Fulminant Prism up and running. I think could be the game changer we need in order to make it through that fight. And Menkar, could you step down, please? Thank you. And let's try that once more with feeling, shall we? So just throw down a couple of these. Beautiful. And I mean, there you have it, folks. This will essentially be our plan for every major encounter moving forward. It's all gonna be prisms and using doors as well. Don't mind if I do. Ooh, and there we finally miss one. Yikes. In fact, where's all this poison coming from, friend? You don't have a poison weapon, do you? Interesting. Well, we do have some curing, so I probably should just use it rather. Let's play it safe. And turn and burn. Bit of roasted horse for the rest of our journey, shall we? Jeez Louise. These kids are not fooling around, unfortunately. So let's just make sure we're leaving a nice trail of prisms of the fulminant variety, and then we can rest in the corner. And again, yeah, honestly going surprisingly well here so far. I was ready to lose a couple of deep elves immediately. Use this as a bit of an opportunity to just get set up for next week, but I mean, not going too horribly for us here. In fact, with the kill and grinder, that puts us in a lovely spot on all of our failure rates. And so now we're basically at the stage of having no excuses, because I usually make the bold claim that if our conjurer gets to the stage of the game where they have access to all of their starting book spells, then they will win. And now I guess it's time for us to put those words to the test and see how it goes. I am burning through our mana a little bit too quickly. Can tell that I'm still in the mindset of Genie, where I could just spam IMB endlessly and it just works. Unfortunately, not so much the case here. We do at least take care of our berserked bear friend, so that is fantastic. And then what do I wish to do with the rest of you? I didn't actually realize we had an entrance into this little glass vault until it was too late. So I think ideally we would not have dove head first into our lovely band of friends there, but does not end up being the end of the world. And low Lork. Yikes. Of course, you had to just barely avoid our prisms, so let's rectify the situation. Thank you, sir. I do apologize for the inconvenience of your untimely death, but yes, such is life. And let's just keep this son of a gun off our backs, and we're definitely getting a little bit closer to that inevitable early death that we were discussing going into this run. But hey, let's try our best not to make that the reality in the end here, shall we? At least we shall see how it all goes. Okay, folks, could you please learn how the corner works? I would have appreciated you doing so when I was kind of prepping for this fight, but that's fine. Oops, that's likely not going to make it. Never mind. Bombardier Beetle not quite able to deal with our prism there in time. Fantastic. And a short sword electrocution. Sure, that's a decent backup option for us here. I mean, Staff of Alchemy is probably a better one to have in hand just for the poison resistance that it comes with. And IMB is a lifesaver. That would have been an immediate loss if I had to guess, but fortunately, we're instead able to just keep everyone off of our backs for long enough for it to not be a problem, and it looks like we might even get to see which god we're set with for the rest of the game. Never mind, this is a very empty temple. Hello? So of this list, we don't have a lot that we haven't won with. Zin, Dithmanos, Zom, I think are the only three. Let me double check that. Pleb, Rue, 1-1, Behemoth. Yeah. Welp. I'm gonna pop out of here and let's see if we find an altar on this floor. I mean, even those options are potentially better than what we saw in the temple proper itself, so glad we're keeping our options open for the moment here. We shall see. I'm looking for a Sif Muna. Most likely would be our choice. We can get the mana channeling, of course, then it means that we can just cast our best, most powerful spells endlessly, which is definitely something we're interested in seeing come to pass. And there we go, we hit all of our starting skills here as well. And what do we wish to do? I mean, we probably should take a peek at what other spells we've picked up, because there have been a couple. So if we take a look now, I mean, Freezing Cloud is a viable conversion here, especially since it's actually fairly close to being castable already. Airstrike also kind of nice. Do we become an air mage? I should also, before I forget, let's learn Irradiate. That's just such a solid spell to always have in our back pocket here that I can't see us not going for it. And yeah, let's learn Freezing Cloud. And maybe for now, we won't worry too much about that Ice Strike. And let's just try a little bit of training. Let's bring it up to 6 and see where that leaves us, shall we? Rest up, replenish all of our mana, and then we can jump right back into the thick of things. Perfect. Oh, do you know what? I should probably actually deal with you in a little bit more of a cautious fashion. There we go. And that should be the rest of you largely taken care of. Fantastic. Gotta love Fulminant Prism every single time. That's a spell I'm so glad that I eventually got the hang of. Because I definitely could see us struggling drastically to make any progress with spellcasters if that was not the case. Beautiful. Well, not too shabby. I think we'll pretty much just finish up here on D6. And then that might be in a decent enough position for us to leave for the evening here. Have something to look forward to. I guess the flip side of that statement is we did not find many more altars. So don't love that. I guess we could go for Zin and then transfer that into someone else, even like the Shining one. Though, again, that's something that I generally like to use on a non-caster character, just because Cleansing Flame is a good substitute for any like AoE magic that we'd already have access to on this current one. I mean, I'd, in most cases, rather Mystic Blast than Cleansing Flame. Hum-de-dum. Do we push this any further before picking a god? Could also go with Dith Menos and become the ultimate Timmy character, the poker, and just magic dart, become shadowed, get a battle sphere, and suddenly it's nothing but magic darts all the way down. Or we just go Zom and see what happens. Again, probably not the best choice for an extremely squishy character like Deep Elf, because Zom has a tendency to put you in less than survivable situations in the first place, and that's just compounded by the lack of HP pool and defenses on our elf buddy here. Yikes. Something like Kiku, I guess, is kind of interesting. Let us take a look. So we've only gone with Kiku a couple times, and so I always have to refresh myself. Bringing forth the wretched and dying. I mean, a bunch of bodies doesn't seem too bad. And then we end up potentially going into a necromancy approach, which is unusual for me to say the least, but could be fun. Could be interesting to say the least. Yeah, let's do it. Let's put ourselves into a bit of a new situation here. Try it out. See what happens, shall we? And with that, I think we might actually be leaving it for the evening here. Again, I apologize for the shorter one. Feel not nearly as bad about that as I do about losing our Pharmacid, but unfortunately needs must and all that good stuff. So I think we'll be calling it an early evening here. Still a fun run overall. Nice to see some crazy luck on the Pharmacid and then not do too badly with our first try on Elf here. Again, so far we're breaking the mold of what I expected this to go like. So that alone is a bit of a win that I'm happy about. But of course, who knows what next week will have in store for us. So to end things off here, we'll of course, as always, do a little bit of a check to see who's live. I did see there was somebody in the DCSS category when I was setting up for stream, so I'm assuming Wizard is on, but it could be a new face as well. Or of course, Chadley back at it. Oh me, oh my, you can do it, laptop. I feel like this has become the constant refrain at the end of our streams lately. That's fine. I'll just keep telling myself that one day I'll do something to actually deal with this instead of just complain about it constantly. But that one day is not today. And so we'll just see who all is around here. Maybe, just maybe. Oh, it's struggling, folks. It's struggling. Well, I guess while that churns in the background, we can do some of our regular sign-off talk, because definitely looking forward to next week. And of course, as always, huge amount of appreciation for all of you folks for joining us, especially those of you who come even for these short ones and stick around. So thank you. You know, if you're chatting alongside here at the start, if you're lurking in the background, like-minded soul to me, I feel, in that regard. Or if you're watching this through the VODs later on YouTube or on Twitch, then thank you for your continued support. And more importantly than that, I hope you're enjoying the series as much as I enjoy playing it, because that's pretty much the whole reason I'm here, is to hopefully make people's days a little bit better. But of course, we'll see how things go. Oh my gosh, 9th is back on. Okay, we're gonna set a raid off to 9th. They're not currently playing DCSS, they're actually playing Rift Wizard, but very much in a similar vein there, and would highly recommend sticking around, saying hello. 9th is always extremely talented in any game they play, and I know they know Rift Wizard like the back of their hands. So definitely stick around, say hello, and yeah, I guess we'll get that queued up here in but a moment. Oh, never mind. They're not showing up. In my actual raid list here. Twitch, are we okay? Are we having a bit of an issue? Looks like you are. But there we go. We can start that raid pending here. Maybe, if it ever goes through. Hello? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. Am I losing my mind? Are any of us really here? Is this all just a dream? Give me a moment here, folks. Let us try this over on main computer side, shall we? I mean, there we go. This time it looks to be working as intended, so we can just keep the raid on this side instead. There we go. Apologies for the confusion there. Still don't know what's going on. Maybe my laptop is in a worse state than I could have possibly imagined in the first place here. But yeah, I guess that's that for our evening. So regardless of this being a bit of a shorter one, and regardless of my inability to pilot even the most promising of Formicids to victory, I do of course hope that you're having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you out there, and I definitely hope to see you next week when we jump back in with our Deep Elf here, and maybe see what Necromancy is about, or just ignore it completely and just blast everything beyond the curtain of this mortal coil. Who's to say? But I hope that you're having a good one, and just remember, folks, even despite my inability to also pilot the outro remarks of my own stream here, we never, even for a moment, didn't have it. Jeez Louise. Cannot even formulate the most basic of sentences. But I'll see you soon.